Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Good Friday. I often wonder why the word good was used in this instance, but I realized recently that it's all about perspective. Recently, a local musician named Justin Robbins reached out to us and offered his gifts and his talents. I immediately thought about this instance. And he wrote a song recently, and this is actually going to be the first time it'll be heard by the public. But here is Justin to show us a little bit of perspective with his song, Risen One.
We extol you, God and King. Lord, we bless your holy name. Your glory forever lifted high. We lift you up, you're worthy of our praise. Breaking strongholds, loosing chains. Oh, there's freedom in your name. Let your presence come down and fill this place. Fill up my lungs, you're worthy of our praise. Hallelujah to the risen one. Hallelujah to our King. I was dead but now I'm alive. You were with me in the fire. Now you put your holy fire in me. Took the sin, you took the pain. You traded glory for the shame. Now the war is over, there's an empty grave. You're lifted up and worthy of all praise. Hallelujah to the risen one. Hallelujah to our King. I was dead but now I'm alive. You were with me in the fire. Now you put your holy fire in me. Redeemer, defender, my refuge, my shelter, the lion, the rock, and the lamb. My comfort, my tower, the blood and the power of the great I am. Redeemer, defender, my refuge, my shelter, the lion, the rock, and the lamb. My comfort, my tower, the blood and the power of the great I am. Hallelujah to the risen one. Hallelujah to our King. I was dead but now I'm alive. You were with me in the fire. Now you put your holy fire in. Hallelujah to the risen one. Hallelujah to our King. I was dead but now I'm alive. You were with me in the fire. You put your holy fire in me.
One thought we might have had a lot these days is, why would God allow this pandemic to happen? Why would a loving God allow such sickness to take over the entire world? We have yet to come up with an answer. If we had an answer to that, we might know why he caused the great flood that took out so many people so many years ago. There are so many events over the last several thousand years that have wiped out an entire group of people. And living in the middle of one of those events, we may begin to question the nature, the love, the trustworthiness of God. But I think it's possible that we have too narrow of a perspective. 3 weeks ago, most of us didn't even know what Zoom was. We didn't have to think about how our home looked through the eyes of a camera. We may or may not have liked what it looked like, but we were okay with it for a time, considering that you were not intending on anyone else seeing it. That is, until your child started giving their friends a tour of the house on your phone while they were FaceTiming them. But our perspectives change. We started looking at our home through a different lens, the lens of a phone or a webcam. We began analyzing what corner of the house looked decent enough, and we tried telling them where they could sit so they could have their class, trying to figure out where we were going to sit so that when we met with our coworkers. Maybe we only had one corner that was clean, and now we're scrambling to create another space to make work for us because all of a sudden our coworkers want to have an impromptu Zoom call. Unless, of course, you've figured out how to utilize the virtual background so that no one can see what your house looks like. Just instead, it looks like you're sitting on a beach on vacation in Maui. And I know that only covers a portion of the people that are in our communities. There are some in our communities that are losing their jobs, and their concern is now shifting to, how am I going to pay these bills? The question of, when exactly is that stimulus check going to be coming, continues to float in their minds. And this is why we begin to struggle with fear and with doubt, continuing to question why this struggle even exists. But just as some of us have had to look at our home through the view of a specific lens, there are certain things that have been revealed to us that were once outside of our perspective. Things that we may have known about, but they seem to fall out of view. They didn't move themselves. Our perspective changed. And the way we view things changes things. What if we stopped looking at this life as if it was all there was to be concerned about? What if this life wasn't the main event? But how many of us enjoy vacationing? Maybe you enjoy camping, whether it's backpacking like I do, or hooking up the camper and driving to a secluded spot. Maybe hotels or resorts are more your speed. But either way, vacations are a way for us to relax, to unwind, to see the sights, and to explore this beautiful world. I don't know about you, but packing and planning and preparing for that trip almost make me question if I really want to go. Unless you've got it down to a science, and I know that I don't, I can rely on the fact that I'm going to forget something. I'm going to realize that I didn't take care of that bag of stuff properly. The last time we took it out, we just left it where it was, and now it's either ruined or we have to go replace some stuff before we can go. But sometimes the preparation for the trip is so frustrating that it seems like the trip is never even going to happen. I know my temper can be tested, and my patience is going to be tested. But once I'm all set up at my camping spot, once I'm all checked into my room and I head to the pool, all that frustration, that hard work, and my lack of understanding of the process, all of a sudden is set to the side and is forgotten. It reminds me of a book in the Old Testament called Ecclesiastes. It was written by one of the kings of Israel. Now, not only was he a king of Israel, but his dad was the king of Israel before that. He knew what a life of royalty was all about. Someone who had anything he could ever want. Someone who developed a nation to be a self-sustaining and resourceful organization. He was known for being wise beyond comprehension. Eventually, he began to lose sight of his mission, and he started chasing after the more futile pleasures in life. His focus started to change. His vision began to narrow, and he demonstrates how that can affect the people around him as his actions caused the nation to suffer greatly. The author says that life is unpredictable, unstable, and he compares it to chasing after the wind. The wind is this powerful entity that is ever-changing, and it is something that cannot be grasped. In Ecclesiastes 3, he says, "What do people really get for all their hard work? I have seen the burden God has placed on us all. Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in the human heart. But even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from the beginning to the end." James, the brother of Jesus, wrote, "How do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, and then it's gone." Our next day on earth is never a guarantee, because this life was never meant to be the main event. What can we be doing during this time to embrace a true perspective? A perspective that reframes our focus onto the bigger picture. Well, as a church, we have decided that we want to be about these 3 items. Number 1 is building friendships. We were never meant to travel this earth alone. We need to be about creating community around us, a community that will build us up and not tear us down. Friendships that will be a support but not a crutch. Building something takes work, it takes consistency, and it takes evaluation. But we need to focus on building friendships. The second thing is that we want to create a space where others can find grace. Grace is getting something that we don't deserve. Grace is something we can offer to each other through kindness, forgiveness, and understanding, but it is also what caused Jesus to be willing to go to the cross. The grace that Jesus offers us is that we don't deserve to be in His presence for eternity. But because He went to the cross, He died on our behalf, He made an eternity with Him even possible. And the third thing we want to focus on is to create a space where we can explore freedom. John chapter 8 says that, it uses Jesus' words, and it says, "You are truly my disciples if you remain faithful to my teachings. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." True freedom comes when we know the truth about Jesus and we have a better understanding about the love of the Father. We believe that as we build friendships, we find grace and we explore freedom, and we can be sharing those experiences with others so that they can have that experience as well. Today, as we close out, Justin's has a couple more songs for us. And this first one, he's going to talk about that love of a father.
How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that He should give His only Son to make a wretch His treasure. How great the pain of searing loss! The Father turns His face away, as wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory. Behold the man upon a cross, my sin upon His shoulder. Ashamed, I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers. It was my sin that held Him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished. I will not boast in anything. No gifts, no power, no wisdom. But I will boast in Jesus Christ, His death and resurrection. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: His wounds have paid my ransom. But this I know with all my heart: His wounds have paid my ransom. Thank you for paying. Alone in my sorrow and dead in my sin, lost without hope, with no place to begin. Your love made a way to let mercy come in. When death was arrested and my life began, ash was redeemed, only beauty remains. My orphaned heart was given a name. My mourning grew quiet, my feet rose to dance. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring out on us. You have made us new, now life begins with you. Released from my chains, I'm a prisoner no more. My shame was a ransom He faithfully bore. He canceled my debt and He called me His friend. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made us new, now life begins with you. Our Savior displayed on a criminal's cross. Darkness rejoiced as though heaven had lost. But when Jesus arose with our freedom in hand, that's when death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made us new, now life begins with you. Oh, we're free, free, forever we're free. join the song of all the redeemed. Yes, we're free, free forever, amen. When death was arrested and my life began. Yes, we're free, free forever, we're free. Come join the song of all the redeemed. Yes, we're free, free forever, amen. When death was arrested and my life began. Death was arrested and my life began. When death was arrested and my life began.
Well, hey everyone, thanks for joining us tonight, and I hope that you're encouraged that together we can gain a new perspective. I hope you have a great night and a great Easter. Take care.